Hello Year 7. My name is Mr. Sanders and I'm going to be setting some lessons for you for the next topic, which is topic 7L on sounds. Before I do that, I just want to say well done to those of you who have completed all the work for topic 7H and have done the end of topic test. I will be marking those in the next few days and getting the results back to you. If you don't receive your results in a week or so, please email me and I will check up on what's going on. Right, so topic 7L is on sounds. It's a physics topic, and I'd like to start with a short video. Just before I do that, yeah, just make sure the system audio is on. Okay, here we go. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that. A few different types of animals, lots of different sounds, and I hope you were thinking about maybe why they were making those sounds and how they were making them with which part of their body. I'm going to take you through a PowerPoint presentation now, and obviously this is a video. You can pause it if you need to. You can stop it, come back to it. There are certain places in it where I'm going to ask you to, so I'm just checking the sound again. I've had problems with the sound. There we go, sound is on. There are some questions in it where I'm going to ask you to pause the video, spend 30 seconds, a minute or two thinking about it, and then carry on and find out the answers. So, first lesson in topic 7N, sound. And if we start with our learning objectives, we want to look at what causes a sound and how we make a louder sound. Secondly, to look at the pitch of sounds. Some are high pitched, some are lower pitched, and to look at how frequency and what frequency means, but how frequency is linked to the pitch of the sound. There are some key terms here. Some of these you'll be familiar with. Intensity, volume, amplitude, and amplitude has the same origin as amplifier, so that'll give you a clue as to what it means. Frequency, pitch, and hertz. So some of those you'll have seen in a different context, but you'll understand the meaning of those as we go through. So animals use sounds for different reasons. There's a couple of reasons here. You saw a stag in the video roaring, and there were two purposes for that. One is to attract mates. Quite a lot of animal sounds are with that in mind. The frog was trying to attract mates, but also to warn off other males. So a big deep roar might suggest he's a dominant male and the other male should stay away. Bats, on the other hand, that hunt at night, use sound for a totally different reason. It's not for communication, but they emit very high frequency ultrasounds which bounce off their prey and allow them to actually see them, not literally see them, but to detect them in the dark. Sometimes animals make sounds that are not deliberate. A hummingbird makes a hum because the wings flap very, very quickly, and hummingbirds are actually the only bird that's able to fly backwards. Right, so I want you, so first question here, I want you to think about two ways that humans use sounds. Firstly, for communication, and secondly, for warning. Then think about how the sound the hummingbird makes is different from the sounds made by the bat and the stag. Think of as many differences as you can, and then I want two ways that you can make sounds with your body, not just your mouth. So can you please pause the video for 30 seconds, a minute, think about those and see if you can come up with some answers. Well, here are some answers. They're not the only ones, and you may well have thought of some better answers than these. But we use things like talking, beeping at pedestrian crossings for communication. Warnings would include things like a car horn or a reversing alarm. You might think of a smoke alarm. Differences, the hummingbird's a very quiet sound. It's not making the noise deliberately. And there are some ways you can make noises with your body. I'm sure you've thought of some others. Okay, we're going to look at how sounds are made, and in particular how different sounds are made. So you're going to watch a 30-second clip, and I want you to think about how you use a guitar to make sounds. What do you do to it? How can you make high sounds and low notes on a guitar, and how can you make them louder or quieter? Okay, so again, pause the video for a short time and just think about the answers to those. You don't need to write these down. So you make a sound on a guitar by making the strings vibrate. You can either do that by plucking them, that's usually the way, but on other stringed instruments like a violin, then you could use a bow, which again just makes the strings vibrate. How do you make high and low notes? Well, there are different ways you can do that. You could use different strings. So the strings on a guitar, as you may well know, are different thicknesses. The thicker strings tend to make lower sounds. A second way would be to make the strings different lengths. When the guitar player puts the fingers on the frets near the neck of the guitar, that shortens the strings and makes a higher note. And lastly, you can actually change the tension in the string So when you tune a guitar, you tighten the keys at the neck of the guitar. That increases the tension and increases the pitch of the note. And finally, to make a loud note, you just simply pluck the strings harder. We'll be looking at these in a little while. Okay, which will make the lowest, not the loudest, which would make the lowest sound? Elephant or mouse? I'm sure that's not hard to work out, but what I want you to do is to think of why it is. So again, just pause for a few seconds and think to yourself why that might be. Well, the answer is that the elephant is a lot bigger than the mouse. And when large things vibrate, they tend to do it more slowly. And therefore, that tells us that the slower the vibration, the lower the sound. The faster the vibration, the higher the sound. Okay, here you can see sounds are made by vibrations. The video is showing you a tuning fork in slow motion, vibrating. And the bigger the vibration, the louder the sound is. The size of a vibration is called the amplitude. That's an important word, I want you to remember it. That's why it's in red. The larger amplitude means a louder sound. The amplitude is literally how far the vibration is. Often we say the sound has a greater volume or intensity, but this is caused by increasing the amplitude of the vibration. This diagram shows two tuning forks. The tuning fork on the right was tapped harder than the one on the left, and the prongs on it are vibrating a greater distance, so they have a greater amplitude. Another way to think of this is that if you tap it harder, you give it more energy, and that results in more sound energy, which means it's louder. Okay, pitch and frequency. Sounds can be high or they can be low. This is called the pitch of the sound. It depends on the frequency of the vibration, as we've just talked about with elephants and mice. The frequency means how many vibrations there are in 1 second, and that is measured in a unit called Hertz, named after Mr. Hertz, and the abbreviation for that is capital H, little z. So if something vibrates once a second, it has a frequency of 1 Hertz. If you have a bell that vibrates 400 times a second, the frequency is 400 Hertz. I'm going to show you another little video clip. What I want you to look at, as the guitar player plucks the strings, I want you to notice two things. Firstly, the vibration of the strings, but also that each string is vibrating at a different speed. As you go from right to left, the vibration increases in frequency, and therefore there will be a higher pitched sound. Oops. Why? There we go. Sorry about that. Okay, now this is the first set of questions that I want you to answer from the book. So you can either stop the video now, pause it now, and answer these questions in your book or on paper, or you can carry on with the video and answer them all at the end. You can get them on, they're the same questions in the online book on page 184. Okay, this topic is called How Do Animals Make Sounds? So we're going to look at some different animals. There's whales there. Whales, very big animals. They actually make some quite high-pitched sounds for a big animal, but they make them at a tremendous volume, very high amplitude, and that allows them to carry hundreds of miles through the oceans. This is a human. Humans have two vocal cords that are stretched across our windpipe, which is obviously the pipe that allows air to go in and out of our lungs. And as air moves across our vocal cords, these vibrate. They're attached to muscles, and by contracting or relaxing the muscles, we can change the tension in the vocal cords, and that alters the frequency of the vibration and the pitch of the sound, as we've already seen. Vocal cords produce a fairly rudimentary sound, and to make words and letters and language, we have to use other parts of our anatomy, our tongue, our lips, our teeth, to actually form those sounds into something meaningful.
Higher pitch. Okay. Again.
Okay, so hopefully you could see there the vocal cords vibrating as the woman was singing, and when she made a higher sound, they actually vibrated more quickly. I think that's slowed down again, so it may be difficult to see the difference in frequency. Many animals make sounds in this way. Sheep, cows, horses all have similar vocal cords to us. But think again about, maybe compare sheep and cows. Which one makes a higher pitch sound? Which makes a lower pitch sound? Which one's bigger? Here's another animal, and this makes a sound in a different way. Okay, so there's some different animal sounds. This is the second set of questions, just two of them on page 185. So again, either answer the questions now in your books or on paper, or keep going with the video and do this at the end. Right, so we've come to the end of the video almost, and what I'd like you to do now, you can get this video, you can look at it again and again. It's up for about a month. If you need it after that, I will have it saved and I can always put it up again. So you need to answer the questions on pages 184 and 5 if you haven't already done that. There is a worksheet which has been uploaded. It's quite a quick one, it'll only be a few minutes. So please open that in Word or in the browser, edit it and then save it. There will be a multiple choice quiz which is uploaded as a separate assignment. And again, that's just a few minutes of your time, but it's important to do that because it does just consolidate what we've done in this lesson, and you're far more likely to remember it when we come back to it for the test. And finally, I'd like to have a look at some of the activities on the lesson sheet. There's a couple which take you to some websites which show talk about birds, different sorts of birds, bird sounds. One is about garden birds, and you can actually maybe try and identify some in your garden from both the way they look and also their song. And if you're a fan of Guns N' Roses, there's a link to them as well. Right, so I just want to go back to the objectives of the lesson, which is hopefully what we've taken from this. So have we explained what causes sounds? Well, that's vibrations. How to make louder sounds? We have to increase the amplitude of that vibration. Frequency is the number of vibrations per second, measured in units called hertz, and the higher the frequency, the higher the pitch. Okay, I hope you've enjoyed this, and please complete the work. and I will be another lesson for you next week. Okay, bye for now then.